What is going on, everyone? I'm actually doing this review earlier this week as opposed to waiting until tomorrow. I'm actually doing it. This is Friday night, right after markets have closed. I just got a lot of things going on this weekend. Let me get a camera where I'm on that. That's a little bit better. And let's jump into it. It was actually a very uneventful week, as is. Let me just get my charts cleaned up a little bit here so we can go through it. I hope everyone else had a good week, though. I hope everyone's week was just dandy. All right, so let's do this. We're going to share my screen. And we're going to do it as sharing this. Perfect. All right, so let's start at the top here. It was actually a very slow week in the beginning of it for a couple different reasons. One being that it last week ended with an absolute bang. The dollar was obviously on this war path as it is. And so for the first part of the weekend, it actually just continued upward and then it pulled back towards Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday was where we're at today. So did not take a ton of trades. We actually did not take a single trade until Thursday, and then I took a couple of trades on the same day. So let's just kind of review some pairs for a second. So first of all, this is Bitcoin. As I see here now, Bitcoin is ready to have its halving, which is just around the corner. In fact, I think it should be very soon. They didn't have many blocks left. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. I'm going to pull it up. It'd be fun to make sure it's documented. 12 blocks remaining, 1 hour and 16 minutes. Let's be a hoot nanny. That's good. All right, so as we kind of continue forward for the week, let's go into it. Did not take anything on Bitcoin this week. Didn't take anything on Ethereum, but did not trade any crypto. Was watching gold. Actually did not take any trades on gold. This was the zone that I was originally looking at. And here it came that way on Monday. It never actually made it back down this way before. It's actually this nice little consolidation pattern, which is, the good thing about gold is you can scalp it from there to there. It's, less than 100, less than 1,000 pips. So the price difference is there and it makes sense to do it. But I did not take anything on gold. As I mentioned last week, I am looking at silver, looking for trade ideas that come through it, but it's the same thing. Since nice little consolidation pattern didn't really give us anything we wanted. If we look at US30 was not on my list this week, as is, which would have started here. Up, down, earnings week, did not touch it. A lot of volatility, but did not touch it. NAS is on this nice steady decline, like if we're looking at it on the long term here. After the last couple of weeks, it's consolidated a little bit here, start pushing down, and then this week it just kind of ended up not taking any trades on NAS either. Just wasn't in the books for me. SPX, obviously I'm watching, but didn't take anything. So oil, we had a markup here. Did not take this trade because of the time that it took off, which was at 10 a.m. It was a trade that came across. Obviously, this would have been one that came back to break even. If you had taken it, would have went back up, and you would have moved your stop loss to break even and wouldn't have breaking even right there. But didn't even take that one. USD, I did take a couple trades on. Once again, not till Thursday. It took one Thursday. It was a nice little 1-to-1. Got in at the right time. This was actually a call that came from Sci-Fi, which would have been right here. I can actually show this. This would have been Euro USD. I believe that's the one right there. So it was Thursday coming in. Yep, that's right around that same time, early in the morning, as it was. Yep, there it is. So that was one that I caught, and then I actually caught this right back up. Was in that one all night. Now this one was just a 2-to-1. It was a call out, came from Mike. Great job on this one. Mike is a price action trader. Hit the nail on the head for this one. That if you look across to the left, like that zone was obviously what we were watching. Bounce back up. I got off to 2-to-1. I was happy with that. Some people stayed in and ended up with a nice little, 4-to-1, almost 3-to-1. So kudos for anyone who stayed in. I chose not to. Got out my 2-to-1 and kept it simple. GBP USD did not take anything on it. I believe there's a call out for it too, but I didn't take it. It just wasn't in my cards. USD JPY did not take it, but got a call out. And as always, I like to mark up my charts to see what it was. Fantastic 1-to-1, and I say 1-to-1 because you would have got out at the 1-to-1 aspect of it, just based on the time frame of it. You could have stayed in it obviously and gotten much higher R to R, man, easily a 2-to-1, but I've been sticking to 1-to-1s lately. A lot of these call outs, they just happen to work out better for me because I'm only risking 0.5%. So if you're doing the math, it was made 0.5% on this one, made a full 1% on that one because it was a 2-to-1. And then on USD JPY, if you would have taken it, that would have been a 0.5% win, which would have been dope. But I didn't take it. USD CAD, I did take a trade on USD CAD. That was a super easy 1-to-1. Was a fantastic. It just worked out well overall. And once again, all this happened around the time. Like this is right around the same time that I wake up. So I was in that trade for the entire day as it just found this nice little consolidation pattern and then decided to move its way back up. USD CHF did not take anything on it. AUD USD, this was a call out. I did not take it because I was already, this all happened at the same time. So, just too many trades at once. But this was a great trade as well. It was a nice little 1-to-1. Obviously, once again, could have stayed in it, made a much bigger play. I mean, if you had kept it in for the entire day, just for instance, to roll that down, that would have been a massive, almost 5-to-1. But once again, I like my 1-to-1s. I don't get mad about it. Could I stayed in and made more? Sure, but I was happy with my percentages I got. So I did not. NZD USD, I did take this one as well on Thursday. It just happened to be right at the same time, and this one happened really fast because that one drop right there hit my stop loss or my take profit. So that was another 1-to-1. And that was really about it. Like there were a couple of the pairs that was call outs on, but I didn't trade a lot of them last week as we ended the week out. They were all in like a weird consolidation pattern. Like they were there. Like this was a massive upswing, but then it pulled back towards the end of the week. It just wasn't, or at the beginning of the week, it just wasn't in my cards to play any of these. I just ended up not taking any of them. So, like I said, very, very slow week as far as trades go. I went to a couple trades, and one of the trades I took, so I'm pretty happy with that one. And we'll just kind of continue looking through here. AUD CAD, I think was another one we watched. I did not take anything on. Nothing actually showed up on AUD CAD. NZD JPY, nothing showed up on it, but it was on the list here for buys. Ultimately, if I would have taken them, it would have had been on Monday. Call consolidation, then move back up as it pulled back. NZD JPY, I can delete that. That's old. NZD CHF. So, as I did not take a ton, but as I'm getting ready for the next week, I'll go back through and I'll start doing my chart markups. I'll start with DeLorean, find my AGB. So if we're looking at it as of today, on the 1 hour, that one's there, but I guarantee you that on the 4 hour, it's not in that. Yeah, see, it doesn't match the 4 hour, so that one's going to be off the table. NZD CAD. All right, so there's a great idea. It's already hit the 4. I just got the AGB and a sell pattern. I will check on the 1 hour too. This, by the way, is just how I find what I'm going to trade for it. So, AGB, everything on this one checks out. So NZD CAD is going to be on my hit list for next week. So give me a vertical line, post it there, turn it red, which is just my reminder that these are sells I'm looking for. Then I'll actually go ahead and flag it. So yeah, same thing. That's a AGB there, but we gotta get to the 4 hour to make sure it's overall trend, and it is not checkout. So that one is off the table. So yeah, anyway, this is kind of where it's going to sit for the week. I'm going to end up doing this now as I am here. Oh, that's fantastic. So we're going to put this one right there, turn it into a green, flag it for green. And these will actually end up being the pairs that I watch next week, which will be exciting. I do expect a lot of movement next week. There's a lot of things going on there. It's geopolitical right now, so I'll be fascinated to see how the rest of this kind of plays out. We're looking at CAD CHF, so let's go ahead. Got AGBs. We'll hit the 1 hour real fast. 1 hour does not make it, so it's out for play. And CAD's just been really, like, CAD's got such a weak economy right now. AGP on the 1 hour. Let's check on the 4. And the 4 hour makes the cut. So we'll go ahead and hit that one there. Move over one for the opening bell. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and I'm going to mark some of these up since I'm sitting down here and comfortable and don't mind. Go ahead and get rid of these old trades right there. Let me hit the 1 hour. There it is. Can't make sure I get this. It don't throw me off. So anyway, this is once again pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and this one does not meet the 1 hour AGB, so we'll not worry about that one. 80 CAD, 1 hour barely makes it. I know it's not going to make the 4 hour. Nope. So we're going to take that one off the list. AD JPY, aqua gray blue. We'll go ahead and hit the 1 hour and see if we get the same thing for a buy. And we don't get it for the 1 hour. So anyway, this is a very simple way to find out your overall pattern. It barely makes AGB there. So let's go ahead and hit the 4 hour and see what happens. Just barely skates by. Get it to the 1 hour. Yeah, it technically makes the cut. So we'll watch that one closely because I got trust issues. Let's look at EuroCAD, AGB on the 1 hour. Look at the 4. Nope. AGB for a buy on the 4. So let's check the 1 hour. That makes the cut. Let's hit that one. Hit this one here. Let's look at Euro, JPY, aqua gray blue. Hit the 4 hour. Oh, Euro is going to be popping next week. Which I'm okay with. That just makes it a little bit better for everyone involved. That one's a no-go. All right, so even though here's the thing, right? So we have an aqua, a gray, and a blue on the 4 hour. Let's check the 1 hour real quick to see if it still has the same. And so the 4 hour doesn't have it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, blue, technically that's good for an up. Let's see what happens when we get to the 4. So here's the thing. This is a good example. It technically makes the cut because the aqua is just barely above it. What we'll do though, so we'll mark it up. But as you can tell right here, you kind of get this pattern where we've hit this high again. Like that seems to be an area of resistance, and it's pulling back. So that's a pair that I'm going to watch, but it may not. I'll have to watch whoever comes across it very closely to make sure that we get the right trades for it. GBP CAD, nope. GBP NZD. So we have an aqua gray blue. Let me get rid of this. Technically, that's a AGB for that one. Let's get to the 1 hour. It does. So here's the thing. This is another good example. So, 4 hour, it makes the cut, right? If you're looking at it, you got all of your EMAs are above where they need to be at, with the exception of the yellow breaking through the red. So it technically does make the cut for a buy. But when you go to that 1 hour, you can tell how, even though we have aqua gray blue here, the 9 and 13 EMAs have already broken through these. So this could be a pullback, and we could get some really fast plays on this one. But since it meets the AGB, we're going to go ahead and put it on the list, and we're going to watch it super closely, just because of that one fact. And then we'll look at GBP JPY. So in the 1 hour, we got aqua gray blue there. Let's check it on the 4. And same thing. So the 4 technically does make this count. But it's another one that if you're looking at these EMAs, they're already falling down, so it may not stick. So we're going to watch it very closely. Going to delete all these old trade ideas that we had. All right, so let's get into where we really spent a lot of our time last week, which is on these pairs. So I believe we're going to have the same downward continuation. So this is the 4 hour. NZD USD is a perfect example of that one. Let's hit to the 1 hour, see what happens. So 1 hour, same thing. Excellent. AGB, we're going to go ahead and leave that one there. We're going to turn it red. Gets to stay colored. AUD USD. So this one, once again, I think we're going to have all these pairs the same way next week, which is good because the more pairs we get to play with for that, the better it is. And we already see how they're moving, which makes me feel better. This one definitely is going to be, I just feel good about that one. So let's look at Jeff. Yeah, I can already tell you these are going to. So what happens is, and I know this is a question I get asked, they'll end up, the goal is for these pairs to actually, if it's going up this way, we want it to actually pull back and then go back up, and we'll take that ride back up into it. So if you look like last week on the 4 hour, it started off here, we had it marked up, and it pulled down slowly, and then it shot back up. So, and this happened on Thursday. So that's where we actually would have taken our trades at if we're looking for it. And so this is kind of the same thing. Friday came back down and pulled in here. So I have a suspicion that on Monday, Tuesday next week, we're actually going to get a continuation up, and then we probably get a pullback on Wednesday, Thursday for the following week. So definitely going to be watching that one again as well. So for USD CAD, let me give you some additional lines and markups I had. Man, these pairs just, I love the fact that we're going to have a lot of these pairs 2 weeks in a row, just because it just makes everything nice. Now, USD CAD's a good one to take a look at, because if you're looking at it from last Monday, it pulled back immediately, and so it would have been a great play to catch up into those for that USD, and then pull back again on Thursday, and start back up, and then pull back again on Friday. So even though the AGBs, the aqua, the green, and the blue are still good, we're going to pay attention to these short-term EMAs, because they've already pulled up, pulled down, pulled up, and now they've rejected off of this EMA to pull back down. So we're going to watch them a little bit closer, and be cautious with our trades that we take for those, because there's a strong possibility that they pull up, reject again, and they continue downward. So then we'll get more of a downward push on it. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that one. Same thing for USD JPY. Same thing. It pulled up, came down, bounced off the MA, bounced off the MA. So we'll do the same thing. We'll watch it pull back, and then obviously it broke through here, and that was when Iran and Israel were bombing each other earlier this morning. So yeah, they make it the geopolitical side of it. So same thing for all these pairs are pretty much the same thing. Where this last week, they did a great job of pulling up, pulling back, but you can tell as like if you go through just past time frames, right? Where after they made this descent through this, which came based off of news, and the inflation rate, it pulled all these EMAs down, and now the EMAs are bouncing off of it. So when you're looking at the macro side of it, you want to pay attention to how the pound and the euro are playing out economically, and what kind of news events are coming with, because that's actually going to make a determining factor on, if these pairs bounce up or down or sideways or whatever the case may be. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on them. But we're going to go ahead and mark them up because they do meet our requirements for the AGBs as is. So that's the Forex pairs. Let's take a look at oil. Go ahead and get rid of that. So oil is off the table because it does not make the AGB. We obviously had it marked up for buys, and it did, but it pulled way down, and this would have been the time to take it. Didn't happen for me. SPX. So that's aqua gray blue on the 1 hour. Let's take a look at the 4. 4 does not make the cut, so that one's off the table. NAS. NAS is a no go. But even though it's not on my AGB list, I'm going to expect it to do a little bouncy bounce. I'm going to put it on the orange flag because we're now on that 200 EMA. You know, we broke through, bounced off. So I might keep an eye on it next week just for fun. On the 4 hour, no AGB for US 30. For silver, we are still in buys, which is good. Which is real good. For silver, let's look at gold. Gold, same thing. AGBs all the way around. Take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah. So we're going to stay in that buy pattern. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is actually in this AGB where now it's in a downward trend. So let's take a look at the 4 hour real fast. That was weird. So the 4 hour doesn't have an AGB for the sell, just the 1 hour. So we're going to leave Bitcoin alone and just see what happens after the halving as it goes through. So yeah, and obviously the dollar's doing some fun stuff. It's in this massive uptick, so we're going to pay attention to it and see if we start to get some pullbacks and pop back up. So we'll see what happens. Honestly, I'd like to see it pull back lower and then be able to go back up because that'll give us our trends that we're looking for as is. So anyway, that was this week in a nutshell. Was pretty excited because, as I said, sci-fi really came in clutch this past week. Had a ton of great trade opportunities, great signals that come across for scalping. You would have been out of that one. This one you would have already cashed out because it was the end of the day. And the same thing for like USD CAT and ZDUSD. There were just a ton of great call outs that just happened, boom, 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 and it shot back up. And a lot of them happened on earlier in the week, and then some happened later throughout the week. But this was just a great tool that comes through. So anyway, that is this week in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon.